Mike is, an incredible filmmaker, and when he sent me the script that he wrote, I was so moved by it, and he had an incredible cast, and we all got together and had fun making this movie for 2 months, and so now it's nice to share it with an audience for the first time.
Well, can you tell us about, what is it about?
This is the kind of movie that the less you know before going in, the better. But I will say this, it's about 2 scientists in a lab, and they're studying the eye, the molecular biology of the eye, and they make a discovery that is profound and spiritual and involves them tracing love through time. So that's all I'll say about that. Maybe to see the movie.
Did you develop some eye fetish or eye phobia?
Yes, actually I think we all developed a bit of an eye fetish. We're all looking at each other's eyes. Mike was always taking these macro photos of our irises really close up, so I think we all developed a bit of a fetish.
Sundance is celebrating 30 years this year. What was your first Sundance experience? Do you remember?
Wow, my first Sundance experience was a couple of years ago. Mike and I had a film here called Another Earth, and our friend Zal and I had another film called Sound of My Voice, so both of those films played the same year together, and it was the first time our work had entered the world at all, so it was astounding and memorable, and I'm eternally grateful to Robert Redford for basically giving me the opportunity to maybe make a living doing the thing that I love to do. So
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Does it make a difference to whether you're involved in the project behind the camera or as well as in front?
It's just different. Sometimes I think as an actress, it's a really amazing thing to walk in someone else's imagined landscape. I think that's one of the great pleasures of acting. It's also, I think, I feel very passionate about writing because we live in such a strange, complex time. How can we not want to write about it as a way of making sense of what's going on? So I like both, but they're different.
It's interesting that you're a beautiful woman, yet you often play character parts. I don't sense you to be vain in comparison to other actresses. Excuse me.
No, I don't so much give a shit about how I look, but I guess that's because I don't know. I think, like for instance, in this story, when Mike and I were wrestling with this character together, we kept wanting to strip her down. I mean, I literally wear no makeup in the film, and that's not like a no makeup look. That's like actually no makeup every day. And there's something awesome about that barrenness and vulnerability, and you get to do whatever's right for the character, and sometimes that means paring everything back and not washing your hair for days, and that's what Karen is like, so you just go there.
And so why did you want to have this? You haven't really aimed for Hollywood, have you? Would you like to do Hollywood movies, or?
I think I'm open to doing anything that has a great story. So if that's a $100 million movie, that's awesome. If it's a movie made for $10, I think I'm just interested in great characters and stories that I feel like I'm proud to be a part of because they're substantive and have something to say while being entertaining. So
where did that come from your background? I never spoke to you before. That you wanted to have this, I sense that you do have this
something that I
passion for it all. I don't know. I was having this conversation the other day with a friend. I don't know where that comes from. I think if you get to make your living as an artist, I think you have a responsibility then, because there's so many talented people who don't get to do that. You really have a responsibility to do important, interesting work and to always be adding something to the dialogue. Otherwise, you should just make room for the people who do have something to add. So I try to be vigilant about it, and I try to make sure that I'm trying to find something that's valuable. Otherwise, I think honestly I would just get bored. I'd go learn something else. I think I'd go try to teach myself something else instead.
Have you ever been to Australia, or would you like to work with Australian artists?
I was in Sydney once working on a documentary about Leonard Cohen, and they did a tribute concert for him. Hal Wilner did at the Sydney Opera House, so I spent some time in Sydney then. I would love to work on a film there. A lot of my favorite actors are Australian, so I'd love to go over there and play in the sandbox.
So what are you working on at the moment?
I'm working right now on a mini-series with Danny Boyle. We've just shot some of it, and we're going back to shoot some more in March. It's called Babylon. And then after that, I've been writing. So Saul and I have written something together, and we're going to go.
You're not together with him,
no, Mike and Saul and I have been best friends since college. So I'm very lucky that a triumvirate of friendship. You kind of need that in this business. It keeps you grounded. ended.
So what's the question?
I wrote about the East without because I interviewed Alexander Skarsgård.
You know, I love the fact that he was
these films are struggling at the moment. Is it getting more difficult to make them?
You know,
set, and it was just a really good environment. Very, very good.
I think it is getting harder to make them. At the same time, sometimes putting something under duress and pressure means that really great stuff is what manages to wiggle through the cracks. So I think we're all just under the gun to make our storytelling that much better, that it's compelling and entertaining and reaches a wide audience. And those are interesting challenges to try to meet every time. We'll see how we're doing with this one. Oh, it was really nice to meet you. The kind of wonderment and bewilderment that you had as a child, and that's kind of an amazing thing to poke at, you know, in 2 hours. So.
Well, I think you buy a house at Park City because you're coming every year now.
I don't know. Can I convince someone to buy me a house here?
Maybe small in terms of money.
Yeah, if I win the lottery, like if I find myself in some major
Sundance for
high budget movie, I'll buy a house.
Career changing or life changing?
To be here? Oh, I mean, yes. The only reason I might be able to continue making a living as an artist is because of Robert Redford and John Cooper and Trevor Groth and the people who created this festival, and keep it going and keep having the courage to pull filmmakers out of their, you know, back caves where they're making things everywhere and bring their work into the light and share it with people. There's nothing else like it in the world. And
it was fun, you know.
Robert Redford really is really my hero. I mean, he's a lot of people's hero, but he's really mine. And, so I'm truly grateful to him. Because otherwise, I don't know what I'd be doing. But I think I'd be a very sad girl.
It was fun to play.
No, you still be a good actress. Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Merci.
Mike,
Au revoir.
just